Hi there, this is Mike of Nearly Enough Dice, and welcome to the Kerbal Space Program. Now, I've been having trouble with my polar orbiter. Indeed I have. Wait for everything to load up. Things I don't actually have access to. Right, there we are. Right. So we're going to load. Actually, I'm not sure that will count. Because, Right, working very slowly. Where is my polar orbiter? Now I have two of these. I'm going to assume I used the most expensive one. Right, now, here we go. And this has not been enough to get me where I want to go. But as has been pointed out, I've got a parts limit now. I can use, I've got 25 out of 30 parts used. But I don't have a weight limit anymore because I've upgraded my launch pad, so this could be a lot heavier. So at the moment I've got this bottom stage of a booster, radial separators, and then two smaller boosters. Well, I can just chuck all of that. Okay, and I'm now down to 21 parts. So what I can do instead is just whack on a rather stupid number of boosters. I can actually chuck on more. But that's now all one stage. And that will be, so those all go off in that one stage, and then they'll be separated. And that really should be enough to get me off the bloody ground. Well, it'll get me off the bloody ground, but it should also just give me enough oomph that I should have fuel. I've been watching crash test Kerbals from a guy called Purple Target. That's presumably not his actual name, I'm just guessing. But if you find those on the Tube Review, and if I remember, I'll put a link in the description down below. I'll probably not remember because I'm stupid. But he does a really interesting thing where he's actually going through all the maths that you need, and in doing it in a relatively non-threatening manner. It's an older version of KSP, but it should still all work out. So, in theory, I can go... that's not what I wanted to do. If we look at... this is a solid fuel booster, and it's giving us information like the thrust of the engine, the engine ISP, ASL, and vacuum. I don't think I really need the propeller, but you can actually start to work out stuff like what else do you need? You need to know its dry weight, which is the weight, how much it weighs when it's actually when it's completely out of fuel, and how much it weighs with fuel in it. And with that information, you can start to generate an idea of how much delta V, because delta V is the currency with which you do everything in Kerbal Space Program. It's one of the things about space just needing a different mindset to, say, going along the Earth. So basically, if you've got a car, it's like miles per gallon and how many gallons of fuel, and that'll tell you how many miles you can go. Which is great because cars, you have to put energy into them for them to move at all. They cost a little bit, but not very much. So it's all about miles per gallon. But in a spacecraft, it's all about velocity, because once you're in the vacuum, and if there's no gravity around, then if you're going at 20 miles an hour, you're going to go 20 miles an hour until you hit something. And if you want to stop, whereas in a car, you just take your foot off the gas. If you're in a rocket and you're going 20 meters, well, let's say 10 meters a second, then you have to decelerate those 10 meters a second. You have to put that much force out. If you want to turn, that's a force, and that's what your fuel is for. Your fuel is delta V, how much you can change your velocity. And in theory, you can work all this stuff out, but I'm not good enough. And so that's what the maths from Crash Test Kerbal is all about. And that stuff I should be learning, I think. And there's going to become a point where I really have to come and sit down and think about stuff like this. Maybe set up some spreadsheets. Maybe set up something on the tablet, which you can just down there. You can't see it. So that, okay, I want to get into orbit. Well, that's that much delta V. And I'm going to put this rocket on. That's going to give me this much delta V. And you have to do things like, okay, here's, ultimately, here is the payload. The payload is this satellite, right? Oh, I don't like this zoom around. I think I have to find out if there's a way of changing this around because I just don't like it. Anyway. Right, this is the actual payload. That's what I want to get in a particular place. And so and then the stage underneath it. Right, so that all stage there, that's a stage. And then this stuff underneath it, that's the next stage, and that just considers that as payload. And so that how much delta V does this need to get from, say, orbit to the big polar orbiter one? Okay, that's that much delta V. And then I want to get that into orbit. Okay, how much into a standard circular orbit? Okay, how much delta V is that? And you got to calculate that with the amount of oomph that stage can generate with this much weight just sitting on top of it, because each successive stage, the first stage has to lift all those other stages as if they're just dead weight. And then you throw that away, and then you have the next stage, and it's got the stuff above it as dead weight. And you've got to calculate all this stuff. Or you can just whack a ton of rockets on and see what happens. And I should be doing things like, which I'm really not, trying to make some of this stuff more recoverable. I'm really not. Like I should be chucking parachutes on these things. And paying attention to whether or not they recover or not. And I have chucked parachutes on this thing, on this stage here, but they're basically decorative, because it's generally in orbit by the time I do this. So check out Purple Targets on YouTube, and there'll be lots of maths and interesting stuff. I'm just trying to work out when is it that I'm going to insist on either teaching myself this stuff or getting the mods that will do the maths for me, because there are some mods, I think Kerbal Engineers is one, which will allow you to work out what your delta V's is going to be from what you've chucked onto your rocket, and stuff like that. However, I've just stuck a bunch of rockets on the bottom of it, of my current thing, I also have a vague idea of the heading I want, which is 185. Because I am, if I go to my orbit, you can see my desired orbit here, right? Which way do I want? And right, I need to. Right, so there's a little hard to see dot that's kind of going around. But it's going around this way. So I want to. So the sun's quite bright in here. Yeah, it's going around that way. So my options are, and the planet is rotating this way. So my options basically are launch now-ish, in a bit, when I'm as lined up here as I can get. Launch southwards because it's going that way. So I want to go down, which is south. Or wait till I get around that end of the planet and go north. So I'm gonna go south because that's going to be. I'm going to get it. So I don't have to wait quite too long. I think I'm just going to go with that. I really want to get this as exact as I can. Alright, that's it. Alright. I want as soon as possible to start going to a heading of 185. Or I can just go up, actually. And I should turn on that, which I haven't done, so I'm very luckily more or less in the right place. Wow, this particular rocket is gonna. Right, there we go. That's going to get me quite close. That particular booster pattern was quite good. That was actually very close to what I wanted. As in, it got to pretty much exactly 10k before flaming out, just slightly over, in fact. head more towards the horizon. I'm going to head more due south. And I'm going to cut off my engines there. So, I've already lined myself up not too bad for once. And I seem to have a fair amount of fuel. And I have a stage in hand. So that's neat. So in fact, that second stage could do with not just having some parachutes on it, which it has at the minute. It could also do with having some. Well, either my options are chuck some of this fuel. I mean, use this fuel to get my orbit nice and circular, and hopefully have some left over, which I can then use to deorbit. Or I could use something like I've seen Separatrons be used. So Separatrons firing backwards, and they're used just to deorbit you. Now let's see how good or bad an orbit I can come up with at this point. Now, in theory, I should know what my orbital speed wants to be at this stage. I think it was like 22,700, give or take. That's an 80 kilometer parking orbit, which is not what I'm using. I'm slightly under that. Oh, not too bad. Right, I don't know how you measure your inclination. I'm sure there's some method. But that's not too bad. I think I could do with a bit of an inclination change. But really I want to go around. So let's chuck a maneuver node right there. That's my periapsis. So first we're going to chuck out the prograde till it's approximately right. Still pretty close. Question is whether that's going to be within the tolerance. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. Yeah, my parking orbits are always just asymmetric, and I don't know why, and I need to find out why I'm doing that and how that's happening, but not sure how much I care. In this particular instance, it'd be nice to be able to get that right all the time. It's a 15-second burn, but I don't know if I've got 15 seconds in this particular stage. Oh, would help if I moved into the maneuver. I wonder if I might not be better off junking, just dropping the stage completely. But whoa. I'm gonna throttle down with throttle down. Where's my ship? Can't see it. And get back to. So the next thing to do to get rid of that nose. So actually, I actually overdid it by quite a bit, as it turned out. So we'll see what I'm going to have to do. I don't think I'm going to do any inclination. If I'm going to do an inclination change, it's going to be up there. So there we go. 6-second burn, but I honestly don't know if I've got how much I've got available to me. Whoa. I'm definitely going to want to pull my apoapsis in. Always missing that. Never mind. Right, it's counting it as a proper satellite, so that's good. Right, so we delete that one. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get. A reasonable amount of liquid fuel there. Although it doesn't know quite what to make of it. They'll give me it doesn't have an estimated burn time. And again, I need to remember to move towards the maneuver node. The maneuver. I'm clearly not quite on the orbit it thinks I am. Right, I'm just going to wait for a few seconds off. I'm happy with that. And then remove that node. And this is going to be what, retrograde, to bring that in. How am I doing for fuel? Not bad, actually quite a lot. Again, it's not giving me an estimated burn, which is slightly irritating. Should learn to not take my hand off the speed up, speed down keys while I'm still doing things. Because I just have that habit of letting things because I don't like waiting. I just don't like waiting for that. Because in theory I could like wait for the correct time and just sit here for like a couple of minutes. But no, I hate that. Ooh, bloody hell. Let's go prograde for a bit. Yeah. And so one last, maybe, you know, one last maneuver could well do it. might be some fiddling I need to do. I'm wondering why somebody wants a satellite out this far. That's just a, hang on. Yeah. Don't know what the ascending node is, but it's not the apoapsis, it's not the periapsis. That's what I'm worried about. So that's fine. Still not giving me an estimated burn, and I don't know why. I wonder if there's a key for go straight to a zoom of 1, a time warp of 1. Because I could really do one instead of just hammering the comma key whenever I get scared. Okay, 15 minutes out. 14. Five minutes out. We go down a zoom, down a warp. Even though that makes things take so much longer. Oh, I'm going to go all the way down to warp 1 because I've forgotten to move myself to the right maneuver thing again. Oh man, I'm such an idiot. Hopefully one day I'll get one of those advanced probes that can do proper, like aim yourself towards a maneuver node and just keep doing that and don't rely on me to have to remember this stuff. Right. Oh, yes. So I've you can't see it because it's underneath my face. Can I move that out? No, I can't. So I've reached the desired orbit, and I've maintained for 10 seconds. And so now this is ready. It's done. It's still got a ton of fuel, so I could in theory bring it back if I cared, which I don't. Also can't bring it back because it doesn't have a parachute, so there's that. So over suddenly, well, I mean, if over suddenly you need to move this or anything, then hurrah. Then, yes! Right, so we are going back to the space station, is what we do. Space center is what we're doing. Gonna do a victory dance? Enough of that. Right, so what have we learned today, children? We have learned that massively overpowering your rockets is a brilliant thing, and that's exactly what you should do. So it's given me 98 credits, 98 Kerbal bucks, which is pretty bloody good, actually. So I spent 12 grand on the thing, but it did do me quite a lot of good. What's the thing I want to upgrade next? I probably want to upgrade research and development because that gives me the ability to do soil samples, and it ups my research limit, which is a good thing. So I'm going to be able to go to higher tiers of this thing. So now it's going to be a tundra or minibus. Wow. So, brilliant. So now it's decide what missions to do next. They just give me fair amounts of science, even though they give sod all monies. There's another polar orbit one. Which I've demonstrated I can do, which is nice. What I would quite like to do, because if I keep getting satellite offers, which give a fair amount of cash, it would be actually quite a nice thing to do to chuck a science station up there with all the bits you need to do that. So you end up with quite a big thing, but it can do lots of science, and because it can clear out, you can if I put the mobile lab in, which it enables it to clear out the lab each time, that'll be a neat thing. Now I've got these two landed ones. I'm going to take these two testing at landed because there's 27 science each. And these are dead simple. They don't really cost much money. Splash down at Kerbal. Ooh. So I'm gonna do those two very quickly. And I think the next thing I'm gonna do, because I can now make sodding big engines, I'm going to take something like this and make my manned. I'm going to go rescue that astronaut. So we'll make something new, and I'm just going to grab that so I know what I'm going to make. So just grab a Stay Putnik, Rockomax Skipper. Where's the skipper? Oh, there we go. Whoa, that's a big thing. And S1 SRB something or other. S1 SRB KD25. Oh, I see, they're nicely highlighted. Oh, that's actually. Holy balls. That's enormous. Alright. Well, what I'm going to do. So I should check to see exactly what they want done. Do they want it tested or do they want it actually fired? Basically take all the fuel out of it. Oh dear me. Because they may want it for staging. They may. I should have checked whether or not they needed staging or not. So base. Come on. There we go. So I'm going to fire those, but I'm going to fire those at 0 thrust. It may also need that I need to run a test thing. I need to right click and then hit test. So I'm going to check those. No, I'm not going to save this thing. So I should be able to get this to work, even if, whichever I need to do. Right, so we're both landed. Right, go to 0 thrust. And that's in both tested. Done. There you go. That's like 3 successful missions in one session. What more could you want, eh? So basically, I got all the stuff back because they were still on the launch pad and nothing actually happened. I maybe used a little bit of fuel. It's fine. Got a fair amount of science. I mean, I'm now up to 72 science, which is actually not too bad. Anyway, I think that's enough for one day. Next, I'm going to have to look at, see what other missions I can get. They'll be fun. Nothing conveniently landed. Oh no, there's a landed one. Sweet. So there's stuff to do. I'm going to do that one next because that's going to give me some more science. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe. Just a thumbs up makes me happy. Comments if you got any suggestions. Share the videos out. That kind of fun thing. And visit us at nearlyenoughdice.com for all your role-playing game themed podcast and blog needs. And as I position my hands over the keys to say goodbye, thanks again for watching, and until next time, reach for the stars.